Welcome boys and girls to another installment of Saturday morning cartoon propaganda. Today we have another gut-wrenching cartoon featuring Caleb and Sophia. You'll get to see how Jehovah's Witness children are indoctrinated and convinced to dedicate their entire lives to an organization. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. First of all, thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. You guys are the best. I never imagined so many people would enjoy these silly videos, but it seems a lot of you seem to enjoy the Caleb and Sophia propaganda, so hopefully I can make more of those for you. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, hit that button so we can reach, what's the next milestone, 100,000? Yeah, we'll probably be there in a couple of years, so who knows. We gotta dream big, right? So thank you so much guys for everything. Now let's get into the cartoon. The first video we're going to be watching today is titled Become an Unbaptized Publisher. Then it references Matthew 21:16, which has absolutely nothing to do with being an unbaptized publisher. Anyways, in case you have never been a Jehovah's Witness, let me give you a small refresher so you can have a bit more context. Because the spiritual progression of a JW child looks somewhat like this. You first have to become an unbaptized publisher, which means you have to go preaching door to door a few hours each month, usually with your parents. You then gotta write down how many hours you spent preaching and knocking on doors each month, how many magazines you placed, all of that. Your parents will then turn this little time slip to the elders in the congregation and they will tally up the numbers, so they send a report to the main branch, and that's how the branch determines, how many hours are spent on the ministry each year. A couple of weeks ago, they made the change that you don't need to report ministry hours if you're a publisher, so you just gotta turn in a little time slip that says you participated in the ministry at least 15 minutes a month, but that's still like a symbol to say that you were active, you are an active Jehovah's Witness publisher. So after a kid becomes an unbaptized publisher, the next step would be baptism, which would make you a baptized publisher. This happens when you privately dedicate your life to Jehovah, so you make a prayer telling God that you're gonna serve him forever, and you pretty much make public this dedication by getting baptized. So at this moment in the cartoon timeline, Caleb is not a publisher yet, and Sophia is an unbaptized publisher who is on her way to baptism. Hopefully that's not too confusing. Anyways, now let's see how these kids are gonna take their next step in their spiritual journey.
Hey Dad, here's my service report.
Good. You can put it on the bench.
Okay.
That little slip is just gonna fly away with the wind, you silly goose.
Dad, when can I be a publisher?
You have brought this up before. When we're together in the ministry, you do very well when speaking at the door.
So then I can?
Not just yet. It's like getting a license to drive a car. You have to be approved.
Oh.
We can discuss how the elders are involved in approving you. For now, let's see if you might qualify. First, do you obey Jehovah and your parents?
Yeah?
Next, do you believe the Bible is Jehovah's Word? And can you explain the basic teachings?
Yes.
And are your friends Jehovah's friends?
Yeah.
Caleb, you are already doing very well. One last thing. Do you want to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses and preach?
I do. I think I'm ready.
I think you are too. But we'll have to see what the elders decide. I'm so proud of you, son. Now, could you hand me that wrench?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So much to unpack here. First interesting point. Notice what drives Caleb to want to become a publisher. He looks at his sister. Sophia is turning in time slips, so Caleb wants to do the same. Even Watchtower acknowledges the huge role family pressure plays into the whole indoctrination process. Second, Caleb's dad, who the animators completely butchered by taking away his huge muscles. This dude used to be absolutely yoked.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Anyways, Caleb's dad lists a couple of requirements for Caleb to become a publisher.
Do you obey Jehovah and your parents?
Yeah.
Throughout the dozen of episodes in this series, we've seen how Caleb is forced and coerced by his religion and his parents to throw away his friend's toy because it's magical.
Is this toy magical?
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, who likes magic? Jehovah or Satan? Caleb?
I am so proud of you.
Break down in tears because he accepted a birthday cupcake.
Caleb, are you okay?
What if Jehovah doesn't want to be my friend anymore?
And keep on knocking on doors even though he clearly did not enjoy the activity.
Can we take a break? Yeah.
So yes, Caleb has proven that he is willing to obey Jehovah. I'm not exaggerating, Caleb is so indoctrinated at this point that he believes his mundane actions actually affect the mood of the creator of the universe, and that his obedience to Watchtower guidelines is received with the praise of angels and the approval of Jesus himself.
No thanks.
This kid is completely devoted to Jehovah. Next requirement.
Do you believe the Bible is Jehovah's word? And can you explain the basic teachings?
Yes.
Of course, Caleb grew up in a very fundamentalist religion where the Bible is treated as the inerrant word of God. And we've seen him preach a couple of times, so he is familiar with Watchtower's interpretation of scriptures. This is a kid who has been told to reject science in favor of the creation myths of Genesis, and who literally believes that humanity is only 6,000 years old, despite the overwhelming evidence that it's not. Yeah, the joys of being brought up in a doomsday cult, guys. The last requirement is probably the most insidious.
And are your friends Jehovah's friends?
Yeah.
Are your friends Jehovah's friends? Jehovah's Witness children are expected to only make friends with other Jehovah's Witnesses. And we've seen multiple times how Caleb is unable to connect with his peers at school. Sometimes we see him talking to them, but most of the time he's just playing by himself in the soccer field. And during the holiday parties, he just recludes himself with his sister in the library instead of, having fun with the other kids. All of this while convincing himself that he's actually having a lot of fun.
What? Who says we can't have fun?
And you might be thinking to yourself, well, couldn't a non-Jehovah's Witness kid be considered God's friend? Maybe they're also Christian or Muslims. But no, literally Jehovah's friends literally only mean Jehovah's Witnesses. So you can't even make friends with other Christian kids, which is just completely messed up if you think about it. In practice, most Jehovah's Witness children do make non-JW friends at school. I know that was my case. Even my dad, allowed me to go play with my friend who was never a Jehovah's Witness. But Watchtower does look down on these type of friendships, and in their perfect little world, they would like Jehovah's Witness kids to never make friends with anyone outside the religion, because that's seen as putting your relationship with Jehovah in danger, because these other kids might, open up your mind to new ideas that might take you out of the religion later on in life. So, Caleb has been indoctrinated into being a loner at school. The final requirement to becoming a publisher is being approved by the elders.
But we'll have to see what the elders decide.
They have to see that you are following all the Watchtower protocol, going to the meetings, going out in service, and only then can you be approved. So yeah, once all those requirements are met, congrats, you're now officially a Jehovah's Witness.
Nice.
But your spiritual journey is not over. No, not even close. Because now you have to start progressing towards baptism. Baptism in the JW religion is quite fascinating because it's essentially a lifelong contract. In theory, you are dedicating your life to Jehovah God only, but in practice, you are dedicating yourself to an organization. Why do I say this? Well, being a baptized publisher involves following the same rules as everyone else, but if you commit a serious sin and the elders decide to disfellowship you, then your family will be coerced into shunning you out of their lives. And I don't mean that they're just gonna look at you in a mean way or something. No, I mean, we're talking about completely treating you as if you were dead. So, if an unbaptized publisher gets in trouble with the elders, he's simply taken the title away from him. He's no longer an unbaptized publisher. But if a baptized publisher gets in trouble, then he faces the dangers of shunning and losing their entire social circle overnight. Now, dear viewer, you might be thinking to yourself, Panda, why would anyone in their right mind want to get baptized if that involves harsh punishments in the case of wrongdoing? And well, dear viewer, in JW land and JW theology, baptism is a requirement for salvation, and it's simply the expected thing to do. If you hit 15 years, 16 years of age and you're not baptized yet, your family is gonna start wondering if there's something wrong with you. So beside the spiritual incentive, there is a very clear family pressure to get baptized. And this drives some Jehovah's Witness children to get baptized at a very young age. We have seen cases as young as 7 years old. Just imagine a 7-year-old getting into a lifelong contract with Watchtower, with devastating consequences if he decides to leave the religion later. All of this is not to say that JW children that get baptized do it simply to please their parents. In most cases, there's also a level of religious sincerity, They truly believe that this is the way to please their Heavenly Father, but the family pressure is still very much there, as you will see in this future cartoon. So, enough context, let's watch.
Wow, that looks like me. I have a question.
What is it, my dear?
How do you get baptized?
That's a good question.
And an important one.
Mom looks so young in this picture.
Hey!
Yes, you can be young, like your mother. What matters is that you love Jehovah and want to follow Jesus' teachings closely.
You can show that you want to get baptized by what you do, like obeying your parents.
Learn about Jehovah by reading the Bible. That will help you obey Jehovah and avoid things that Jehovah hates.
Then you'll want to share your faith with others.
Especially in the ministry.
And at the meetings. Make friends with others who love Jehovah.
And most importantly, tell Jehovah in prayer that you want to serve him forever.
That's why we get baptized in public. It shows others that we've dedicated our lives to Jehovah.
That's so cool.
Would you like to get baptized one day?
Why don't you learn a little more about the steps for baptism and share it with us at Family Worship?
Okay.
This one makes me physically ill. So first of all, we get to see the spiritual journey of Sophia's mom, whatever her name is. We don't know what her name is. This insufferable lady who made her children throw their toys in their garbage and encourage Sophia to spread her homophobic beliefs in school. Yeah, this lady now tells us how she got baptized, and surprise, surprise, she was actually born into the religion. This religion is all she has ever known. So we see a couple of photos of mom doing a series of JW activities, like reading the old book of Bible stories, which contained a lot of bloody photos that were definitely not child friendly.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
And the next slide is interesting because we see the mom rejecting the same wizard toy that she made Caleb throw away in the first episode. So yeah, that's another fucking rule that JW kids must follow. No entertainment involving magic of any kind. No wizards, no Halloween, nothing even remotely connected with the occult. And generally, JWs have relaxed a bit on this front. Now JW kids usually watch stuff with magic, it's not as strict. But back in the 70s and 80s, which is during the Satanic Panic, yeah, a lot of entertainment was put under the Spiritism ban. So Sophia's mom has a long history of being a religious fanatic. And just on a side note, this slide just completely breaks the Caleb and Sophia continuity because this Sparlock toy appeared back in the first episode of the series, and when Caleb's mom saw it, she had no idea what it was.
How was school today?
Fine. Look at Sparlock's magic cape.
What toy is that?
It's Sparlock, the warrior wizard.
Whoa, a warrior wizard.
Yeah, my friend gave it to me.
But now we know that Sparlock existed back when Mom was a child, so why doesn't the mom know what Sparlock is? Is she suffering from amnesia, or has she been replaced by another woman? That would also explain the dad's lack of muscles.
These new parents are imposters?
The mom is then shown preaching door to door with the yellow paradise track. You remember those tiny little tracks that we used to give to people? Yeah. And she's making friends with others who love Jehovah, which, as we saw with the previous video, can only mean other JWs. So Sophia obviously wants to follow in her mother's footsteps, and Mom asks her if she would like to get baptized one day, as if that wasn't always expected of JW children. So Sophia will now have to follow more steps to be approved for a baptism. She needs to talk with the elders. The elders are gonna ask her like 50 questions to make sure she's completely in track with Watchtower theology. And if she is approved, Sophia will be baptized in the following convention. And look at how proud her parents are. Yeah, honey, we have been successful at indoctrinating this kid. Once she takes the plunge, she won't be able to leave this religion without dire consequences. I hate this cartoon so much. Watchtower loves talking crap about infant baptism practiced by the Catholic Church, but they're happy to accept the baptisms of 7-year-olds. Dear viewer, do you really think Sophia is ready to enter into a lifelong contract with the organization? Sure, this is just a cartoon, but this scenario plays out over and over again in JW families. Child gets baptized way too early, grows up and realizes they don't like their religion, and then they're shunned by their family and friends. This whole system is awful. I'm gonna give this cartoon a 9 out of 10 in the cult meter. Absolute trash. Just get it out of my sight.
Okay, let's have some fun.
So guys, let me know what you thought of this propaganda in the comments below. And let me know if you would like to see more cartoon rebuttals in the future, because there's a lot of episodes I haven't covered, like the homophobic episode and the episode about grief and the bullying episode. There's so much material to cover, so if you would like to see more of that, please let me know in the comments below. And once again, guys, thank you for 10,000 subscribers. You guys are the best. I'm so privileged to be working for you, so you can heal and you can just have a good laugh at this atrocious propaganda that Watchtower puts forth. It's been a pleasure so far, and we're just getting started. This channel is powered by viewers like you, so if you would like to leave a donation, please follow the links below. The best way to support me is through Patreon, because for only $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and will you really help me cover my bills and keep this channel running at full speed. And you can also become a YouTube channel member if you prefer. If you're not able to give at the moment, I still deeply appreciate you viewing this channel and supporting it with your comment. You guys are the best. Take it easy guys, have a wonderful day, and stay away from the tower.
Bah. Goodbye, little sheep.